Hello and welcome to today's episode of Dream Business, Dream Life. Today I am joined by Nat and Cat from Hustle and Health, and I am super excited for this conversation. So, hello, Nat and Cat. Lovely to have you both
Hi,
here.
Emma. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
thank
you for
you.
having us here. It's really
Fantastic.
good to be a guest on your podcast today. Thank you.
Super excited. There is going to be so much joy shared for you today, so much inspiration, so much value. I cannot wait. I just cannot wait to dive in. So let's start by taking our listeners back, Nat, if that's okay,
Yeah,
to
absolutely, Emma.
what you shared with me at the beginning, where you sort of your growth journey, I'm not going to say began because it began the day you were born, but where it began in
Yeah.
terms of what got you to where you are today.
Okay, so I was beneath rock bottom, lower than low, off the back of an attempted suicide from being heavily depressed, really not having any control over my emotions or my thoughts, feeling like just, life was not good, feeling like I was living under a cloud. I discovered that I had an underactive thyroid, not not to my knowing. And as soon as I started actually medicating for that, I realized that things aren't always as they seem. So it showed me that how I was feeling wasn't necessarily unsolvable. And I was living in a high-rise council flat in the roughest estate in the middle of Birmingham. If anyone knows Ladywood, the Canterbury Tower, Twin Towers, I actually moved in there a couple of days after the Twin Towers event. Bit of an omen, I don't know. Um, you know, uh, really not a savoury place to live. A lot of crime, a lot of criminals living in the area. You would hear gunshots going on outside. Really rough place. Financially, in the toilet, I often didn't have enough money to put any money on my electric, so I would be living there in the dark. I would wash my clothes in my bathtub. I didn't have a washing machine. In fact, I didn't have a fridge. I would hang my milk outside the window of the eighth floor flat just to keep my milk cold because I didn't have anything. I'd moved in with a suitcase full of clothes and was sleeping on this suitcase instead of a bed or the cold floor. That literally was, a rock bottom state. Um, I woke up one morning, Emma, and I just kind of thought, this isn't it. I want something else for myself. And really, my memories of speaking to other people and hearing what other people had, people who had big cars, plus cars and big houses and kind of a freedom of life, was something that just kind of had this sense of knowing that I want that too. Why can't I have that? So what I did was I was working in a call center at the time, very basic job, working for a mobile phone company in a call center, phoned in sick. And I went to the local library to put together a CV because I didn't have a computer. So I couldn't even do that at home. So I went down to the library to put together a CV for myself and started taking it around local recruitment companies to try and get myself a job as a recruitment consultant because I'd heard they earn loads of money and that's going to get me the fast car and the big house and all of these things. But no one would give me a job, Emma. No one would give me a job, and it took years to even get myself an interview. And when I did get that interview, I was all stuttering and fluttering. I didn't really know how to then kind of take it to the next step. And the guy there had asked me, sell me this pen, and I couldn't do it. But then afterwards, I asked him, how do you sell a pen? So the next interview I got, I was able to sell a pen. And by learning to what I failed with at that job interview, what I could take to that to then go and get a job interview in recruitment, very much taught me to learn from what was going on around me. Kind of like, you know, even if you can't do it, show up like you can, show up like you can, be prepared to just take that action, learn from your failures. And if it doesn't work out, go again. Um, so it kind of offset a spiral of, you can hear the plane going over.
Job, dream life.
That
Always
just goes
very
to show you
safe.
how different
Always
life
on
is to the.
Santorini.
Yeah, sometimes things don't always go to plan, do they? You're giving a little bit of a flow if you're talking, you have a plane go overhead. But look, so I'm there, I'm trying to figure these things out. I'm a fraud. I'm not a recruitment consultant. I'm making it up as I go along. But I happen to have a little bit of a gift of the gab, I think. Or at least some balls of steel to give it a go. But the confidence wasn't necessarily there. Anytime I would even try and make a phone call to try and sell anything, I'd have to go outside and have 5 fags before I'd make that call to try and brace myself to actually pick up the phone. I'm not going to pretend that I was just there able to do it all. It was take a big deep breath. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this, go again. From that, I got another opportunity to work for the most prestigious recruitment company in the construction industry, which again, it gives you a little bit more hope, a little bit more, oh, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. And within that, I got headhunted, went on to then be the top biller within the region. And that was like, well, hang on a minute, I could do this for myself. So then went from there, set up a business myself, which wasn't without its problems along the way. I've shared with you that business during the recession absolutely fell through the floor. We'd taken this big leap of faith. It was my husband at the time and I to set up this business, just had a baby. We wanted that independence and financial freedom of making the money for ourselves, but we got snowballed by the recession. So the recession absolutely crucified us. We'd ended up accumulating business debt, which happens, to the tune of around 100,000. So, I'd gone from beneath rock bottom to having all of this success to not having anything again, and trying to figure all of this out. And that led along the way with me living a very sedentary lifestyle. Anybody in business knows that once you really focus on making a success of that business and you're focused on making money, on growing that business, on the responsibilities that you have towards that anything else does not seem desirable to do. You don't have the motivation for it. Going to the gym is not an option. Getting away from your desk to go and do a healthy meal, it just feels impossible. You're just there. You're hooked into your desk and what you're doing and making money. And that certainly was my life. And to come down from the stress of the day to day, well, a glass of wine, 2, maybe 3 bottles, try and take the edge off. So that was my perpetual lifestyle. So at the time, heavily stressed, massively in debt, morbidly obese. I was weighing in at over 100 kilos and didn't recognize myself. So there was a lot of different factors going on. And I don't want to sit in this for too long, but what I will say is that led to burnout. So where I'd originally been at what I would say was beneath rock bottom, then went on a spiral to a completely different type of rock bottom where my health was then on the line. And from that, I've then been able to come away from burnout, being at rock bottom, where we paid back every single penny of that tax debt whilst accruing more tax, because you accrue tax on the tax debt that you're paying off. It's a fun game. Growing that recruitment business rather than folding it, and having more people work with us in collaboration to build a permanent recruitment business to the tune of 7 figures, whilst losing more than 6 stone, and then deciding, hang on a minute, this doesn't really do it for me. I've got all of this money. I'm traveling first class around the world. I live in this beautiful house in Spain with a 2.4 family. I'm living the dream. Why doesn't it feel like how it should feel?
Have everything.
There's something missing here.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Something missing here.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. And I'd been through such a journey myself with what I learned about my health that I just had this real ache that I wanted to help as many people as possible to discover how good their bodies were designed to feel. And so I was like, right, I'm going to become a personal trainer. So I walked away from the 7-figure business and walked into a €10 an hour job as a CrossFit coach, coaching women's CrossFit classes. Which was not a financially based decision. And actually, Emma, it led me on a path of very much believing that you can either have money or purpose, that you can't have both. I had accumulated this belief that you either love what you do or you earn money. You couldn't have both.
Exist together.
And that was very much a belief that I lived in for a long, long time. And along that time, I very much believed as well that the marriage that I was in which had very much broken and fallen apart on all angles, on both sides, was a marriage that I had to stay in. That I had to stay in this marriage, and this is how life needed to be. And then I was fortunate enough to work with a coach who actually asked me to grade my life in certain areas. And this is something that I would absolutely recommend every single one of your listeners to do. Separate your life into health, relationships, your business or career, whether it's that you're in employment or not, what it is that you're doing, because we spend 80% of our lives working, right? And then a separate element of finance. So separate business and finance. And then on each one of those, just mark yourself 1 out of 10. Where are you and why are you there? And then ask yourself where you want to be and what needs to happen to get there. And I'd never taken a paused moment to look at my life like this, but it made me realize that, right, okay, well, my health is great. Got 10 over here. But actually,
What about the rest?
not everything else. The relationships in my life, nope. And so I decided to make changes, Emma. Like going into Central Library and getting my CV, I started to make other changes in other areas of my life, expanding my coaching business from being inside a CrossFit box to looking at outside online coaching as well. What else could I do? Reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, all of these kind of things, reading about more, manifestation. The book The Secret was on the list of books that I read. Along the way, I've met Catherine. And from meeting Catherine, I think we were like two halves of a coin together. And at the point of meeting Catherine, I'd gone back to work in a CrossFit box to help out with the classes that they wanted coaching, which I was a bit apprehensive about because I'd worked in a CrossFit box, left, had my own boot camp, gone back, met Catherine. And just as we've started to get together and my marriage had broken down, there was a lot going on at the time. So marriage, separation, Catherine and I have met. The guy who ran the CrossFit box handed me the keys. Take it. Obviously, there's a financial exchange that had to be discussed. So all of a sudden, this bucket list dream was kind of handed to me.
It's like on paper what you really want.
I thought this was what.
Be careful what you really want.
I thought this
I
was
think
what
that's
I
key,
really
isn't it?
wanted.
Very clear. Get very clear. You'll ask the universe, and the universe will give it to you. Like, are you sure? And you're like, yes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's when you said on paper what you think you want.
100%.
Big difference, isn't it?
Very different. Very different.
Right. And this was huge. This was huge. So within me making the decision, the offer to actually buy it, take it on and own it was a really good offer. It was a really, really good offer. And as Catherine said, I think my whole identity at the time was fitness. So my whole identity was CrossFit. Now I was going to have a CrossFit box. There was a huge lot of ego here as well, Emma. Now I'm not just working in a CrossFit box. Now I'm going to own.
I'm an owner.
Yeah. This was a real thing. We all have that. Let's just show that up. Yeah. And then Catherine literally went in a weekend.
Yeah, so I had been a personal trainer for about 10 years and also a nutritionist. But to work in a CrossFit box and own a CrossFit box, you have to be a CrossFit certified trainer. So it was like all hands go. It was like a weekend. I went to Portugal. It got done. It's like within like 2 weeks, we're like, okay, let's go. It happened very fast.
And you jumped in with me.
Yeah, I just jumped in.
Jumped in together. We were like holding hands, jumping off this cliff.
Yeah.
Into a CrossFit box. Let's go. This CrossFit box was failing beyond belief, Emma. But there's a little bit my MO,
passion, isn't it? You've got love. You're like, we'll make a difference.
We'll make it
happen. It's not. It's us. We do things differently.
But what we didn't realise that the numbers of people that we were seeing in the classes, half of them weren't even paying. They weren't even paying. So it was a lot worse than we even anticipated. So it was really interesting time. And at the time, I was living in a house with my ex-husband. We're living and sharing a house because this house won't sell, Emma. So it's like all these different things. Okay, all these different things.
Life stress 10.
Okay, and we found it almost impossible to get staff to help us within the box. We weren't initially making enough money to employ staff. So it was all hands on deck. So we were there like at 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight, 6 days a week.
And you're working with people, so you're delivering a high quality. You're coaching. You also have to be, your customer service has to be high. You have to bring the energy. People buy you, not just what you do. So
100%,
yeah.
And remember as well, I have this belief at the time that you either have money or you have a job that you love, right? As well, this is very much a belief.
It's almost reaffirming it, isn't it? It's an interesting one.
We all have something like this that's keeping us stuck.
Absolutely.
We all have something.
So at this point, when you've got the CrossFit, you've done this before with your recruitment business.
Yep.
Are you getting those same feelings back?
So I felt trapped. I felt like I was in a prison, Emma. I felt like I'd literally, metaphorically and physically imprisoned myself in a box. That's what you call it, it's a CrossFit box. I imprisoned myself in this box. I was unable to travel back and see my daughter, who decided my eldest daughter moved to the UK to go to college. I missed her. We didn't have the freedom or flexibility or finances to travel because all the money was in the box. And I also had this attachment to the house. So there was, it wasn't even feeling very good about the actual job overall. There was a lot of overriding factors. We love coaching. So as much as it was a highlight of what we do, it just, there was a lot of factors going on. We did grow the box, though. We grew it by 260% in terms of profit, volume of members. We did some amazing things with that box that really turned it around in a 6-month period. So really took it from nowhere. But what we realized was that there was a ceiling. There was an absolute limit.
What you can earn, what you can do, the impact you can have, how you can help people.
Yeah. And at the same time, to enable us to be able to live and afford to live, we were growing our online business at the same time. And through the power of connection and networking, we met and worked with some amazing ladies in the online space, amazing, incredible ladies in the online space who have gone on to do some amazing things with their businesses, and they've allowed us to help them with their health and fitness. And that has been a huge ripple effect. And actually that overtook what we were doing with the box in terms of job satisfaction, in terms of financial income, in terms of the lifestyle that we're living. So all of a sudden, our health, our relationships, business, and the finance leaned into what we were doing, into the online space, really ticking all of the boxes.
And I think here it's really important to say that a lot of people, and I think the tendency is, but I've spent all this time doing this and I've built it up to this. I want to keep growing it and hold on to it. And it's kind of like being able to take the emotion out almost and pragmatically looking at it. It's like, yes, but this growth is capped. It's amazing on so many levels, and just let it go, regardless of the time that you've spent in whatever situation, business and relationship, with all the things.
Yeah.
And what we really saw, Emma, from our little viewpoint on the world was, here in this box, this is how many people we can help. And what we were seeing within the online space, especially our demographic, which is hugely linked into online business coaches, was that the ladies that we were seeing and being connected to were all experiencing very similar struggles to what I had overcome in the recruitment business. And it was like, hang on a minute, I need a microphone here to just kind of tell you all, hey, hey, look, I see you, burnout, you've got this weight gain, you don't know why it's happening, you're experiencing all this stress, all of these things are happening, and we could very much see it. And Catherine's background is in high performance coaching. So high performance coaching comes from athleticism. This is where it comes from. So in a matter of fact, what we need to do as individuals is be the athlete of our business. Okay? We need to look at all these different areas of our lives.
Not just one.
Yeah. And we need to kind of be thinking about our health is the foundation of our business being able to thrive. And that's not just going to the gym. No. It's our mental wellness. It's the ability to eat to thrive, rather than consuming food to try and push back the emotional stress that we're experiencing. So this is very much what we've leaned into, which is what our expertise is. So we've kind of gone, like all of this meandering around, living these experiences, having had these problems and these challenges, and through growing ourselves, we're able to see and identify this in others and help others grow with us. So we all grow faster, you know? Makes sense.
Yeah. Which is phenomenal, isn't it? You know, I think as human beings, the thing that we tend to put last is our health, isn't it? We focus on you spoke a lot about you got to a point where you'd got the cars, the houses, the money, the first class holidays, all of that type of stuff, because externally people see that and they think, wow,
You're
they're successful.
Yeah.
They are doing amazing things. I'd love a taste of that. But what they don't see is what you've had to give up or not do or forget, or whatever the right word is, because my brain is not thinking of the word I know I'm looking for. What you've had to give up to get you to that point, because nearly always, at least the first time round for people building businesses, there is something, isn't there? There absolutely is something. And when you listen to your journey, what I heard quite clearly right at the beginning, even though I know there's still been a meander to get you to where you are today, your turning point was when you realised that actually your health, the thyroid condition, was actually part of the problem in terms of where you were and why you were stuck and why you were doing certain things and behaving in certain ways. And that is a powerful thing to know, isn't it?
Right.
Absolutely. And do you know 60% of women who have underactive thyroids don't know about them? It's undiagnosed. It's one of the biggest medical conditions that is misdiagnosed as depression. And especially now, as people are becoming more and more aware about perimenopause.
Yes, it exacerbates the situation even more.
It really does, because it's hormonally led.
Right.
Your thyroid is your central matrix for every other hormone in your body, for how your body responds. And if it's undiagnosed, you're living with these symptoms of depression, feeling suicidal, living under a dark cloud,
all the time,
and potentially being told, well, it's perimenopause, it's
normal. So you'll go to the doctor,
HRT.
have some HRT, or it's normal, it's just how it is. And you go and you leave and you feel disempowered and there's no hope.
Yeah.
Because you're like, but I feel like this can't be it, you know?
Yeah, it's a massive one. And it's not even just the thyroid, you know, this is one thing. Quite often, you know, having a heavily stressed environment that you're working in can have a massive impact on other areas of your life or within your health. And likewise, it can lead to that being undiagnosed. And we've discovered quite a lot with clients recently who have got low dopamine levels and low waking cortisol, which is massively impacting things like procrastinating or tasks taking
brain
longer.
fog.
Or hitting the fridge instead of doing tasks because you're needing a hit, or finding yourself doom scrolling till midnight, which somewhat is outside of our control if our hormones aren't balanced. So it's really important that we do have the know-how or the ability or the time to be able to press pause and go and find those things out. Absolutely.
That's it. And that definitely is a thing. I'm at that age, perimenopause. I am in that pot of people.
Right in the throes.
Exactly, right in the throes of that, where, you know, and I hear myself saying it sometimes, you know, something happens, you know, you're a bit hotter than you normally are, or you can't find your words or something, and you go, perimenopause. We're assuming, aren't we, that actually the problem is going to be perimenopause, whereas actually we may be putting a box lid on something that could make us feel a hell of a lot better, I suppose.
Exactly. And by putting that box lid on, we're preventing ourselves from finding that solution and actually feeling incredible, clear, focused, and just positive and happy again, and like ourselves.
And I think it can, I mean, like, I love that there's so much more recognition around perimenopause, because in so many ways it's really empowering for women to know, hang on a minute, this could be what's causing the feelings of anxiety that I'm having, the bloating, the discomfort, all of the different symptoms. There's so many symptoms around perimenopause, but they could also mean something else. So what we don't want to do is lean into learned helplessness, or feel that that's going to have to be the name of the problem that we have. It could be one of a number of things, you know, as anybody who is experiencing any negative symptoms, it's a way of your body actually trying to talk to you. Your body saying, hey, listen to me, there's something not right, something is
Just
out of
keep
balance.
screaming.
And if you go to your doctor, if you ask for a blood test, if you have a dry urine test, or known as a Dutch test, you can actually see your own personal code when it comes to your hormones. And when you can see your own personal code, you know the exact nutritional intervention or supplementation you need to feel like you're thriving at your absolute and living your absolute best life. So it's really important that we do that and don't dismiss one blanket statement for all symptoms
and suffer through it unnecessarily.
Yeah, no one needs to suffer.
No, life is too short.
Thriving.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Honestly. It's true.
Exactly. Is that what you say your driver for life is now? Enjoyment, happiness?
Do you know what?
Fulfillment.
Do you know what? I know what it feels like to feel
Yeah.
like shit.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like I know what it feels like to be at rock bottom.
Same.
I know what it feels like to be crushed, to feel like you have no hope.
Just
I know what it
depressed
feels
every
like
day.
to be skint, to have no financial freedom. I know those feelings. And now I live in a life, and I have done before, but now I feel like I'm sat in this place of calm and serenity, and I'm open to learning and growing more. But I know how good this feels, and this feeling, that's what I want for others. I want everyone to know that this is possible. I don't have something uniquely magical about me. I'm quite ordinary. I'm, to be quite honest, I'm an average woman who's just learned from some failures along the way and kept going. And the more women that I do meet, the more I realize how impactful their stories are and how much other people have learned and grown. And that anybody who's not yet, and I say not yet, moved into that place yet, to know that it's there for us all. We all have the potential to feel free, peaceful, calm, happy, excited about life. And to sit in that place, it really does exist for us all. There's not a shortage of it. It's there for everybody to take a hold of.
It's just kind of identifying what's holding you back, what's stopping you, what those blockages are,
Yeah. And especially if you're a strong woman who is quite achieved, not being afraid to let other women help you out along the way. That's been probably one of my biggest.
I'll tell you that one. Yeah.
Being big enough to allow others to help me. That,
it's okay to ask for help. And I think a lot of like high achieving women, I'll do it. I'll just take care of it. It's easier that way. And then somewhere along the line, we think it's a failure, or it's weak, or it's useless to even ask for help.
Yeah,
exactly. So overcoming that and being able to receive that help.
That's the biggest growth hack. Being knowing enough that you're open enough to ask for help, so that you can get the help that you need.
No one has all the answers. Like, you're not supposed to. Yeah.
No one needs to struggle.
No, I think we often see it as failure, don't we? That's part of the problem. If we have to ask somebody else how to do something, we think, I've failed. I should know this.
But if you don't know Japanese, like, you're not going to like suddenly wake up and know Japanese. No, you'll hire a Japanese teacher, or maybe you'll go to Japan. So it's absolutely ludicrous to think it's any different for any other aspect of your life. Like, how else,
Absolutely.
It's also met with the things that we've heard, seen, and been told throughout our lives. So if you're somebody who has experienced trauma, if you're somebody who has had a misfortune in your upbringing, and you've had a parent, a teacher, or a friend belittle you in the past, and that has emotionally impacted you, that voice, that message that they gave you that has emotionally affected you and really created the trauma that you have, is going to stay with you, but you're not consciously aware that that's the thing. But being told that you must do this in your head, striving from a place of lack, or beyond that point of, you can actually take a paused moment to look for balance because you're driven by scarcity, which is where I've come from as well.
And ultimately it's a lack of safety. And if you don't feel safe, how can you pause? Right. So it's like you're being driven by all the subconscious things that have happened to you along the way, but you don't realize it. And that's conditioning your present and future behavior. So it's kind of like a pressing pause, as Natalie said, delving in, going in, finding when that happened, and then moving through towards resolution.
And that's the thing, is we don't often know we're doing the thing until we're at the point of, hang on a minute,
done something different.
What was I doing that for? And that pause moment where that coach, and I couldn't even afford a coach really at the time, it was way beyond my means, but that was a hand reaching in and gave me the opportunity to actually ask myself what I was doing. Just just hang on a second here.
Yeah.
What is going? I'm living on autopilot. I was absolutely living on autopilot. And being able to just sit with yourself and just question, hang on a minute, if I'm not happy, does it have to be like this?
And it's hard because those honest moments are hard. We've all, I think every single person listening to this has had moments where sometimes you don't want to open that lid. You don't want to, but then it comes a point where you're in so much pain or discomfort that you kind of have to open and be like, okay, truthfully and honestly,
Yeah,
what's going
completely. I know when I walked
No?
away from my seven-figure business, I firmly put that in a box. I am never, ever going to talk about what happened in that period of my life ever again. It's staying in this box. I'm putting it on a shelf. I'm just going to go off and do something completely different
Nice and
because
tidy.
that can stay over there. It's never going to make its head. Wow, what a 12 months. You know, what a 12 months when I started to think I'm actually going to have to peek inside that box because there's something in there that is
holding me
stopping
back.
me.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, it's a journey that I'm still, I mean, I'm what, 5 years down the line nearly. And I know I've had, you know, a doof in the middle again. But that box is it's still got some stuff in there that, you know, that's got to come out. And, you know, maybe that'll be there forever. I don't know. But I can open the lid now. And that to me is massive progress, isn't it? Because we
think
can't
oftentimes
keep it boxed up.
Exactly. And I think oftentimes it's like the fear, it's like it's even scarier to think about the thing rather than dealing about the thing. And once you start to deal with the thing, it loses its power. We speak about it and we lose the shame and the guilt and the judgment around it. And then it allows us to go free.
Yeah.
Doing that housekeeping. Emotional housekeeping.
It goes beneath that though, doesn't it? Because it's not about what's in the box, it's what is in the box represents. Right? It's always the thing about the thing. You know, it's always that one level deeper. What is that? What does that mean to us? Not necessarily even just unpicking it, but what does it mean to us if we do? What does that mean? And that's the big important question that we need to kind of stop and ask ourselves.
Yeah, you know, completely. So let's look at hustle and health, because this is where you are now. This is your current your baby. This is your life now. What you are living, what you are doing, aren't you? That's the reality. You know, what you were teaching other people, that is what you are living, which for me is just like amazing to actually see. So tell us, what is Hustle and Health?
Okay, so Hustle and Health is the company name. That's the name of our company. There's the big brand, and it represents making sure that you're not hustling at the expense of your health. The two can work together, and that's what I've lived to be true. And within that, we have our signature program, which we're just about to kick off with again on the 15th of September. I'm really excited. The evolution of health and fitness as we know it for women. Without a doubt, things need to change. The narrative needs to change. All of this dieting for deprivation, the being skinnier than skinnier than skinnier, chasing the number on the scale.
Smaller.
You know, if you're a woman in business, you need to be energized. You want to be waking up in the morning.
You wake up inspired with like energy.
Stomping your feet with the energy of like, I can't wait to go and do what it is that I'm doing today. You know, that's it. Waking up with purpose and having the energy to do so because you're fueled for it. And I don't know, you know, why this agenda still sticks around. It's like 100 years old. The whole shrinking yourselves to be small has been around for so long. But it is worth $190 billion. Okay, so there's a huge monetary amount attached to weight loss. What we very much empower is, okay, you might want to release some of that body weight that's there keeping you safe, that's kept you safe while you're doing other things and growing your business. But let's have a little look at what it is you really want. What are those big, audacious, juicy life goals and experiences? Because life is a collection of experiences. You've got big macro experiences and then micro experiences, right? Those are the things that matter. And when we take and focus on those things that really matter to us, and then we design our nutrition and our exercise in a way that is going to fuel us to be able to achieve those things that matter, it becomes easy. Because it's personalized for us for what we need to do to enable us the freedom to live the life that we want. And we do this in a 4-met energy capacity. We call it the energy quadrants. If you just take a box and you draw a line down the middle and then a line again, we have 4 different types of energy. And the most common one that we all know is the physical energy, right? So we think of energy and we think about how we kind of feel physically moving, eating the food, our hormones, that's the physical. But we also have emotional energy, and that is what we've mentioned, our finances, our relationships. All of those things are going to trigger our emotions, and those emotional response trigger how we respond to food.
And alcohol.
Feeling stressed, I'm going to eat the cake. I've been good, I'm going to eat the cake. All these kind of things.
Sad, I'm gonna eat
Going to eat the cake. Yeah, it's one of those things. So our emotions drive our choices. So we can't really sit and make changes around our
No.
physical health if we're not aware of our emotional energy.
Because it'll sabotage us.
So we need to make sure that they're in balance. But then there are two more. We have our mental energy. And for anyone in business, we need to be at full mental capacity. We want to be clear. We want to have clarity. We want to know what it is that we're doing. We want to be focused on that task. We want to be razor sharp. So we're not spending any time longer doing it than we need to do, like moving procrastination out of the way and staying away from burnout. And that is powered by recovery and sleep. Okay, so our mental energy is difficult when these all work together. You can't separate them. And then the one that I was missing when I had this amazing 7-figure business flying first class was one of the most important. Well, they're all equal to each other, but that's your spiritual energy, or known as purpose. If you're not into the woo, fine, but it's your purpose.
It's your why.
It's your why. It's what matters to
Why
you.
you wake up every day.
And if your energy around your why is depleted, if you're not doing things that are truly meaningful to you, then you're not going to want to go to the gym.
You won't have the
I mean,
energy.
it doesn't match. It doesn't match. And if your emotions aren't fully topped up, then you're going to be eating the cake. And then you can see how this is all disheveled, right?
It all works in concert.
So we want each one of those to be given its individual merit. And that's what we do with Inside Energize. It's not just here's a diet plan and a workout
program, off you go.
Well,
Not it at all.
Off you go.
I think one of our clients said the other day, she's like, I don't know what you guys do, but it's some sort of like voodoo magic that I'm feeling amazing and I'm really inspired and I feel motivated and I'm taking care of myself.
You know,
I'm living my best life.
So this is what we do. We look at the full you, the 360, the holistic health. Some people call this biohacking. It's just breaking it down into the basics of the energy quadrant and looking at what do you really need. I had a woman start with me this week, one day in, her whoop band is at 97% today. She's like, how is this possible after eating this food day one? This is my favorite food I'm now eating.
Yeah.
And we just made a few small adjustments. And off she goes.
Because I think it's really important here to say it's not about overhauling your entire diet. It's looking at what you already eat, what you enjoy, the foods that you enjoy with your family, with your friends, and making that work for you.
And often it's making sure you eat enough. Because we're constantly told to eat less, do less, be less in terms of food. But we need food to thrive. Your body wants to be strong. It wants to be nourished. It wants to eat. Otherwise, if you don't feed it, you can eat the cake. Yeah. It's just the cake.
It's inevitable.
But we want a bit of cake, but we want everything else as well.
Yeah.
We want all the good stuff as well. So it's making sure that it's in balance. And we've recently qualified as heart healing practitioners, which is based on, again, my experience. Within my experience, it was something that I went through and experienced myself firsthand, and it blew the lid off.
It changes everything.
Blew the lid off the limiting beliefs that I had left, the things that I didn't even know that I thought I'd done the work on. So I'm like, I've done all the work. I've done all the work. Hang on a minute.
It's a dream.
Actually, it's still there. Yeah. It's still there.
And it's like what we said with like, yeah, exactly. The thing beneath the thing, and like looking at what those things in the box represent.
Yeah, because sometimes I know what to eat, and I know I'm stressed at work, but then it's how do you move away from apathy into action?
It's like,
how do you actually get past that? Well, what's the point? Because I'm stuck here in this situation anyway. How do you move into, well, I'm going to do it? And heart healing helps with that because it rewires the subconscious belief system.
Reprograms,
And so it's the first and only health and fitness program at the moment. I'm sure it'll catch up.
Maybe or maybe not, but it's the missing piece.
Yeah,
it's a missing piece. It's a missing piece because without that, and it's like it's far beyond just anything like hypnotherapy or subconscious work, because it's healing the deep-seated wounds of the heart, the things that we really truly feel deep inside that condition our behavior and ultimately our happiness.
Energized used to be a group membership program, except everything was personalized for each kind of person coming in, because we can do it that way. It's quite easy for us to just go, right, okay, yes, this is what you need, because we know the questions to ask, right? And then what we realize is that these people aren't group. You're not a group, it's not just a container. It's not a membership. That's not what it is. It's a mastermind, because everybody in our community is an equal, including us. We're all peers. we're all learning and growing from each other. So we've expanded it and renamed it as a mastermind because it's what it really is. It's a collective of women that are rising and growing together, and we're sharing our knowledge and expertise and helping each other. And we've opened it up for the women within the group to be able to share their unique wisdom with each other as well. So there will be intermittent masterclasses outside of health, nutrition, and fitness, and heart healing and mindset, that actually, if you want to know more about visibility, PR, or finance, we have online coaches within the group.
Yeah.
Go share your wisdom. Go share your wisdom so that really we can all rise together, you know. And I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's very
really
much it.
important, isn't it?
It's
Because we
very
do
much
better
it.
when we do it together, don't we?
Yes,
The more heads
exactly.
in the same, you know, sort of room are going to give us much better results, aren't they?
You know, and like we are a company, we have to hack our environment, and it's the biggest environmental hack to surround yourself with a group of people who only have your best interest for you and who will also help you grow as they grow.
You know, it's that sense of belonging, that sense of community, that we
Right.
have this commonality.
Yeah.
We're all working together to make our health fuel our lives, to fuel our business. And we've got different struggles, but we've got that similarity. But actually, we all can inspire one another with our own strengths as well. And that's collaboration was massively successful in the growth of the 7-figure recruitment business that I had. That was huge, and that was something where it bolted in collaboration at a very early age for me. And I'm like, yes, collaboration over competition always, you know. But getting these women together and seeing them within the community, they've actually dictated this in a way that it is, you know. It's naturally become this. It's not a forced thing. It's not been, it's evolved itself, hasn't it, into it. It's amazing. So I'm really excited to deliver the next 6-month roadmap that we've got in place, because already the breakthroughs and the aha moments that are going off since the first 5-day launch that we had, it's just been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. So
which is amazing, and congratulations, because I believe this was your biggest ever launch, which is phenomenal.
It was
I mean, and we say it's our biggest ever. We're still babies in the online space compared to a lot of you know. And I want to say impact is more important than income, right? But I've also learned that they're both as important as each other, because actually with finance you can make more impact for yourselves, for the people that matter to you, and for your greater good as well, right?
Absolutely.
That's a big take home for us. So we're excited because it represents that actually we're doing what we should be doing. For us, it's like everything feels aligned, right? Everything feels aligned. And it feels really good to make the amount of money that we have, because that enables us to help other people who are also motivated in that way to say, hey, this is what we can all do, and this is how we can all grow, and we can have all the things. It's not just one thing or another.
No,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think we learn, the best way for me to learn, I think it's the same for lots of other people too, is to actually see other people doing the things that we want to do, because we take that inspiration and we think, do you know what, if they can do it, I can do it too. Even if I'm right down there at the moment in the depths of not a great place, there is another side to that. There is a way out. It's just taking that first baby step, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So absolutely amazing. And we're going to share all the links so you can go and find Nat and Cat in the show notes for you anyway, so do go and look them up. Okay, so we're going to have to draw this to a close in a second. So at the end of every single episode, I ask my guests to share a top tip with our listeners. So what would your top tip be? And I'm quite happy for there to be 2, because there's 2 of you.
Bang for your buck. Do you want to go first?
No, I was just gonna throw an absolute curveball and say you go first, because
well, you'll go for something deep, but I'm actually just gonna do something that I've been thinking, because I very much work with mindset and heart set, but also, and this sounds really easy, but it's not, but master your self-talk. Your self-talk will dictate your thoughts, will dictate your actions and behaviors, and dictate your life and your reality. Just that. And it sounds easy. It's like, yeah, I know what that is, but it's master your self-talk.
And mine is not too dissimilar. I'm just going to be a lot more specific about it. And that is, ask yourself what your limiting belief is, the one that's holding yourself back. Recognize it. Because if you don't ask yourself, do I have any limiting beliefs, those thoughts that stop us from actioning the thing? then you'll never have the power to change it. You have to ask yourself and bring it to awareness. So the next time you see somebody do something and you're like, yeah, but they have,
Yeah.
or but they've
Pause.
got, or they can do that because, recognize that is a limiting belief. It's come from somewhere that has served you before. Right? It's not unfounded. It's come from an experience that you've had and it's served you before. Thank yourself for remembering it. Ask yourself, where does this come from? Why do I think that? Right? And then remind yourself that it's just a limiting belief because you've experienced it before. It is not a fact. But ask yourself what your limiting beliefs are so that you have the power to change them.
Amazing. There you go. 2 top tips today.
And eat your protein. And eat your protein.
And eat your protein.
Bonus tip number 3, eat your protein.
There you go. 3 tips. Eat your protein. Absolutely love that. So if our listeners want to come and find you, I know we're going to share all of this in the show notes, but some people don't read, they prefer to listen. Where's the best place to come and connect with you?
Okay, we are most commonly on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can look up me up, Natalie Guyan, Catherine Lynch. Drop me a DM.
Yeah, we like to
Drop-
chat. We're not like
We're human.
pushy and
We're
salesy or
human,
anything.
you know.
Yeah.
Come and chat with us. And also, even if you're not in a place to work with us,
Okay.
and this has actually made you think, oh my gosh, I need to ask them a question
Yeah.
or anything like that. If you want to reach out, don't hesitate. No question is ever too small. I would love to hear from
Yeah, we'd love to
anybody
help.
out there that who's listened and has anything that has resonated with them.
Amazing. Do go and look them up. Absolutely do go and look them up. And I feel like we need to end one more rumor that's out there at the moment. Come on then. Who is the tallest?
I'm
Me.
taller.
It's me.
So Natalie, if you'll actually go through her medical documents, is 5'5". You're what? Are you 5'5", and I'm 5.5".
I'm 5'6".
So there, she tries to wear heels, but obviously,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
There you
Catherine's
go.
got the mohawk. It makes
I every little helps. Every little helps.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Right. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been
Thank you.
Thank you,
absolutely
Emma.
amazing chatting with
Yeah.
you both. And thank you to everybody else for listening. We will see you next time.